Embajada. It's 6 a.m. and just getting light, far out over the warm and calm Sea of Cortez. The overflowing dumpster we parked next to last night began to smell with the heat. It only costs $8 US and the mosquito bites come at no extra cost. The Wi-Fi was a fable after the flood destroyed the town. Our bumper fell off and we won't be able to carry our broken bikes anymore. Gave them away to two brothers who knew how to ride them but never had their own. The flood was everywhere and took the charm out to sea, leaving behind only brown mud. The empty mission survived and granted comfort to the remaining blindly faithful. We smashed into a piece of concrete poured uselessly to jut out into the road. Luckily, it just hit the back wheel and we found our dislodged hubcap by the road. A guy at the next llanteria straightened out the bent rim with his sledgehammer. Perhaps the tire itself is not quite as ruined as the center of his town. There's another route back up, but it's 200 kilometers of unpaved, potholed hell. The desert was beautiful and full bloom after the two unusual tropical storms. The road was badly damaged as well, in too many places to mark any of them at all. Happily, the half-dozen U.S.-funded military drug checkpoints are still in operation. Drinking water costs 20 cents a gallon, and bring your own toilet tissue. Don't put it in the toilet, though. Just drop it in that smelly bag right there beside the pot. There's sand or mud or dust which gets all over everything everywhere you go. The people are so very friendly considering that the overwhelming majority have nothing. The open roads are for dumping and shitting by lovely little accident memorials. We saw unsavory landfills overflowing quietly into the patient sea. We smelled urine as we watched a señorita sweeping her steps with utmost care. Dirty men with greasy hair and tattered clothes toil at nothing, smiling in the sun. A million tiny stands compete to sell a couple of cans of Tecate per day. Pemex is a government-owned oasis, offering gasoline, water, and home cooking. You'll never get sick if you buy their food locally and cook it yourself. All the tiny towns are called Saint or San or Santa or some other Catholic bullcrap. Desperate, sickly, limping dogs scavenge hopelessly wherever people congregate, and their puppies can be found everywhere should one need a friend. The houses are all almost finished, or wait, maybe they're already falling down. Militaristic cowboy gringos drive by, bristling inside powerfully macho OHVs. Penny-pinching and indolent retirees flock down for the sunny winters. Frightened RV adventurers pay a fortune to travel in guarded convoys. The smell of wood, paper, and plastic burning often fills the air. Mufflers may be illegal here, for all that one can tell by the traffic noise. You fix things only when they break down and the mechanics have the know-how. Outside showers drain out into the sand, helping to damp down all the dust. The Transpeninsular is two shoulderless lanes dropping off steeply on both sides. Axle-smashing topes appear to slow traffic at every block in all the little towns. Fishermen will gladly sell some of their catch by boats pulled up on the beach. The huge federal prison smells like a broken sewage treatment plant. It's quiet in the night off the highway, and you can really see the Milky Way. Many of the women are quite sexy, despite their church and the constant harassment. The tortillas are made by hand with real lard, and if they're bagged, they don't have any labels. The new books look used because they're all so covered by a thick dust. It's good if you find a peaceful spot. Stay still and just kick back. It's hell to drive for days through heat and sun and dust, garbage, cactus, and smoke. You can clean your fish right on the beach, and the birds will pick up the place. The Spanish brought the useless missions, epidemics, and a tradition of litter. Los ricos like to fly their planes or sail their yachts from port to port for lunch. The young men stand on the back of crowded open trucks, tasting the wind like dogs. The rusting skeletons of abandoned cars picked clean abound just off the desert roads. Working hard and staying dirty without opportunity really is the way of life here. The Californians try to get a hold of all the nicest places, building walls and fences. After a while, the dust feels comfortable, and it becomes a protective layer. Diabetes and obesity run amok, but so many children have those beautiful dark eyes. Begging in the hard cell of worthless trinkets is refreshingly almost non-existent. Miles and miles of coastline remain totally unreachable and therefore pristine. A faded, dusty Maria sadly watches the drab but noisy procession as Sunday ebbs and flows. Tough survivalist gringos yard up Hummers in walled hotels with hot showers. Cowardly cheap tourists cook their own meals and sleep with their old RV doors open. Mechanics will work 7 days a week, and all their clothes are always gray and dirty. Boozy retirees recapture their youth under dusty Christmas lights to bad old music. The Transpeninsular wanders and twists aimlessly most all of its way on down. Dust covers the litter and the memorials to the traffic dead in strictly egalitarian measures. The guidebooks omit the reality of heat, dust, garbage, and the unremittingly unsanitary. Very few beggars sit in the dirt, and the children do not plead for money. Dead cows and horses bleach to skeletons in peace after fatal highway encounters. Endless, blazing, bleak, hot, dry, rocky panoramas separate the traveler's oases. The locals know that you are crazy when you feed a mange-ridden stray dog. You can camp for free on the beach, but just don't push your luck and try to stay too long. Kings of cast-off American semis thunder by on unmatched, worn-out tires. Macho trumpeters suffering from deafening Jake brake flatulence. Short, fat, horny men pissing in the littered, smelly desert weeds. These mestizo Don Quixotes charge 24/7 across the narrow Transpeninsular. The gringos know no Spanish, and that pays the pajeños to learn some trade English. But if you try a little Spanish, they'll be more than glad to help you on your way. No trees or farms hide the unforgivingly hard volcanic landscape. Many scenic bays have been sacrificed as septic tanks for the towns and the campgrounds. The Gulf side is hot and buggy, and the waters teem with nasty stingrays. The Pacific coast has fog from the ocean cold, and it's too rough for the tourists. The spine is unpopulated, except for the rare ranchera or tecate shack. Local chicken, beef, and seafood is tasty when you come upon it fresh. Village mercados seem to stock just a dusty couple of everything that you need. You must buy every ounce of your drinking water at small private stores. Tetanus thrives in the dust, waiting for an open wound to happen by. Women and dogs do not have it good, and the men must work all the time. The larger restaurants are just as expensive as those up north of the border. Tijuana is a filthy pit where life is cheap, and so are drugs and medical care. But they're locking up the coast for Orange County gringos down to Ensenada. Little bits of trendy SoCal behind new security fences surrounded by an old poverty. The scorpions are hard to see against the shattered volcanic debris. The rock art appears to be adolescent doodling in the brutal midday heat. Things move at a rusty, creaky pace, and everybody pretty much just gets by. Then an occasional hurricane washes a horribly purulent mud down and into the sea. Being Embajada is a state brought on by heat and dust and rock, grease and dirt, cooked deeply into one by that unremitting peninsular sun.